Okay, so we are given f of x, g of x, and h of x. And so to get f of -2, we're going to take -2 and put it in for x in the equation called f of x. So let's rewrite the whole thing, except instead of writing x there, I'm going to put -2. Okay, then I need to do 3 times -2, which is -6, minus 7. -6 minus 7 is -13, so my answer here is -13. On the next one, it says g of x is 1/2 times x squared, and it says we're putting in 8 for x. So let's rewrite the whole thing. 1/2 times 8 to the x squared. So then I need to do, okay, so first I have to do this 8 squared, which is 64, and then I have to multiply it by 1/2. And so 64 times 1/2 is 32. There's my answer. It's totally fine if you use your calculator, just be careful. Okay, last one, I'm going to put in -3 for h, where the x is. So I get the absolute value of -3 plus 1 minus 6. Okay, the absolute value, so I do -3 plus 1, and I get -2. So I get the absolute value of -2 minus 6. Well, the absolute value of -2 is 2. So I get 2 minus 6. 2 minus 6 is -4. There's our answer. This next one says which equation matches the line shown in the graph. And so I'm going to look first at the y-intercept. And it looks like the y-intercept is b equals -4. And so I'm going to find the ones where the y-intercept is -4. And so I have a y-intercept is -4 there, there, and there, but not here. So I can cross off option D. Then I need to look at the slope, and I need to see, okay, well, what is the slope of this thing? And so I'm going to just pick 2 points on the graph, here and here, and I can count from here to here, and I count down 1, 2, and so I can say my slope is -2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. -2 over 4 is the same as -1 over 2. And so my slope is -1/2. And that's that spot right there. So these two don't have the right slope. And so that means that my answer is C. This is sort of the same idea, except this time we are given the equation and not the graph. So let's find out what this looks like. What I notice is that y isn't by itself, and I'm going to rewrite it over here so that we have a little bit more space to work. I'm going to try to get y by itself first because I'm most happy when I'm working with y equals mx plus b. So let's simplify this a little bit. Let's get y by itself. This is like what we were practicing yesterday. So let's subtract x from both sides. We get -y equals -2 minus x. And then I think we need to divide both sides by -1. And so we get y equals 2 plus x. Remember that you do each part. So you do the -2 divided by the -1, and then you do the -x divided by the -1. I get 2 plus x. Now this isn't really written in y equals mx plus b, but I'm just going to identify, well, b is the number by itself. So b must be 2. So the y-intercept is 2, and that means that I can cross off option A, and I can cross off option D also, because otherwise those intercepts look like they're -2. And so they aren't the right y-intercept. Now let's look at the slope. The slope is 1 because there's nothing written there. And so now I'm looking for something that, and remember, if you don't have anything written, it's 1 because 1 times x is the same as x. So now I'm looking for a slope that's positive, and I'm looking for something that goes up from left to right, like this, not down from left to right. Down from left to right have negative slopes, and so the change in y is negative here. So this slope is positive, and so my answer again is C. This one just says sketch the graph of the equation, and so I need to start with the y-intercept. It says the y-intercept here is 5. So my y-intercept is 5, so I can put a dot there. And then it says the slope is -1/2. And so that says I can count down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And I can follow that back and forth on that line. Now I'm going to use the line tool on my app here, and I'm just going to draw my line like that. Remember that this goes on forever, so you can put arrows like that, and then I'm done.